Hello YouTube! In this video I'm gonna share how to glue your tires for the Nitro finals. So everybody knows that 45 minutes of the finals are very important, and I will not be wrong if I would say that this is the main reason why everyone doing 1/8 scale of road. So it's very important to not damage all your weekend with just a 45-minute finals. So, and one of the reasons why might happen, your tires. Tires are very actually important, and despite you choose the correct tires, correct tread, correct compound, you need to prepare and glue them correct. And my approach is slightly different from the standard approach when I prepare tires for the finals or qualifications. And so in this video I'm gonna share how to glue your tires for 1/8 scale Nitro off-road race for the finals, for the A main. So you will need hole puncher, you need the very sharpie and very thin scissors, Dremel, just rubber bands, but you can use the regular silicone special bands for the tires glue itself. And I'm using Camera 33 from Tony Sport thin glue. This is very important. This is, I would say, not fast but medium, so after dropping on the tire I have about 5 to 10 seconds until it starts gluing. Sandpaper, this is about, I don't remember, maybe 100, maybe 150 p. So the tire itself, I'm using Pro Circuit, insert, rim, brake cleaner and paper towel, and also I'm using the nitrate gloves. So as for the regular process, my first thing what I'm doing preparing for the tires is I using hole puncher to create holes. In this case I don't I have the same approach as for the e-budgie or for the qualification tires. So I'm drilling 4 holes right here, right here, right here, and right here, and in the middle of the tire. So I did that for my tire already, and I will not do that again. The second approach, why I'm using this thin sharpie scissors, that you need to remove these edges here that might damage all your tire process. Did you see that? Yeah, at this edge of the tire you might see kind of fabrication damage, and there are still a bit of excess tires, excess rubber, and you need to cut it all for the whole tire from the inside and outside. And the reason to that, because when you start gluing the tires, the glue should be as soon as possible thin, and because of that excessive rubber here, the glue layer will be thicker than usually, and the process will be damaged. So the first thing, the second thing after tire punching holes, I am just removing this, this excessive rubber here. And yeah, it takes some time, but this is very important, because I guess if you run the Nitro budgie, Nitro Tragedy finals for the 45 minutes, you has faced with the situation when your tire starts ungluing and you can't finish your race, or you cannot finish your race. But if you finish race with the unglued tires, your rest of the race will be just a big headache, and for sure you will not be on the podium. So gluing tires correct is a very important process, and preparation to this, tire preparation to this, is also very, very important. Yeah. Usually when I am on the track and I don't have time by myself, I share this job with my mechanic so he can help, because this procedure really take a lot of time and need to be focused on the process. Yeah, but for the couple last seasons, I prefer to prepare my tires in advance. Even with right now, I am preparing myself for the next weekend event, and right now, 1 week before, I started preparing my tires, and I mean overall stuff for the racing. So one side done, let's continue with another side. So by the way, the whole video will be a bit longer. It's about 1 hour, I guess. Yeah, because overall the process is really, really difficult. Yeah, but it makes sense. I remember one time I had a situation when my tires, when only one tire was unglued by itself, and it was just a problem to drive the car, because car almost lose the control, especially on the straights, and I was not able to drive. I always feel that I need to battle with my car, and yeah, for sure I lose some positions. I was able to finish the race, but it was the headache, just a big headache. And for example, like here, yeah, I see that there are a couple of same problems, some excessive rubber, but for example here, I don't see any, excessive edges of the rubber, extra rubber, so I can just keep it and move on. Here. And if you, for example, doing this stuff like me, it's not a problem if you cut a little bit more rubber, more material than usually. So you don't need to be very specific here. Your goal is to remove excessive material, excessive rubber that can damage all your gluing process. Looks like I'm done. So the step number 2 is done. I cut all the edges here and I'm starting gluing. So next I'm preparing the rim. Currently I have already prepared all the rim. I will not do that, but what we need to do, actually I'm using the used rims, but it doesn't matter. For example, your step number 3, you need to make a Sharpie this surface to give the glue more surface to glue rim with the rubber, with the tire. And the next step, I will do the same with the tires, but now I'm doing that with my hands and with sandpaper. I'm doing like that. Yeah, and I'm repeating this on the whole, through the whole round for the rims. So I will try to illustrate you. So already I did that before, and I will try to illustrate you. For example, here in the middle, this is not sharpened area, and this is how the rims actually come to you from the shop. But now, did you see that? This is very sharpy area, and this is how you should achieve these sharpy edges. So just keep it in mind. Also, you can do this with a Dremel. It's not a problem. But for the rims, I prefer doing manually because this is a plastic, and with a Dremel, it's easy to remove a bit more material than you have, and to make the plastic layer thinner, and it might cause the durability of the whole rim. It's also not very good. So for the rims, I'm doing this process manually with the sandpaper. But for the tire, step number 4, I need to do the same, but with a Dremel. So I'm using 4th speed. I'm also using the sandpaper. Yeah, I'm using sandpaper end, and I'm ready to go. One side done. Okay, let me illustrate you with another side. So now I want to share what conditions you have to achieve with the Dremel. So on this side, you can see this is like a brand new tire, very not sharpy, just very smooth. But on this side, you see these micro holes, this surface that already becomes more sharpy. So you need to achieve kind of this situation, no more, no less. So from this to this. I hope I illustrate you on the video. So I'm done. The step number 4 is finished. The sharpie edges are prepared, and we're ready to move on. So before the next step, I need to use the brake cleaner and paper towel to remove all the oil, all the dirt and all the dust from the edges on the rims. I don't do this on the wheels right now. I will do this a bit later, but on the rims, I'm doing this on this step. And I'm doing like that. Keep in mind, from this point, when you're working on the rims, on the tires, and after cleaning this area, you then need to try to not touch this area with your hands, because your hands actually a bit oily. Your hands might be a bit dirty, might be a bit dusty. And just keep in mind that this area on the rims and the same area on the tires are extremely important. And one of the main reason why the tires are becoming self-unglued, because this area is not prepared very well. Because of dust, because of bad glue, because of oil here and not cleaned. So as soon as you clean this area, you're ready to continue and not touch the rim with your tires. So as you can see, I'm touching with my fingers, not here, but in the middle. So, and we are ready to go next. I'm installing the rims. So actually, about gluing rims with the gluing inserts with the rims, in the past I was doing that, but now I don't do that. And the reason to that, because usually it's not a problem for the budgie. I also have a trudgie, and for the trudgie I glue the inserts with the rims, because trudgie tires are more heavier, they larger, their rotation speed is more, and they have to be glued to prevent from, you know, ballooning. The budgie doesn't have such problems, so that's why I don't glue them on the don't glue inserts with the rims. So the next step, I need to attach the tires, and I need to attach tires and rims with inserts. So I'm doing something like that. Yep. And now, did you see? Did you remember that rims are actually cleaned, but tires still not? I will do that right now, and to do so, I'm doing, you know, kind of this one. So I'm trying to center all the tires, all the rims and inserts through the. So I try to center inserts, rims, and tires, and when I make sure, I'm starting cleaning again with the brake cleaner. When you start cleaning the rubber, I mean the tires, your paper towels will be always dirty, and it's not a problem. Just keep in mind, you don't need to make it very, you know, clean or clear, because you will never achieve such conditions. Yeah, but just use about two times on the one side, and wait for I don't know 10 seconds until all the brake cleaner will be dry, and yeah, we're ready to go. So then you can check it with just your finger. If you touch it a bit and this is sticky, it is ready to go. And I'm ready to insert tires inside of the rims. So for the previous video, I started gluing inside of the tires first, and there was a reason because it sped up the process. But now, in the future, I will disassemble inserts to glue inside again, and that's why I'm starting gluing tires for the Nitro Off-Road Finals. I'm starting gluing tires from the outside. And just a bit later, I will show you why I'm doing that. So I'm ready to glue. I'm using my rubber bands. Check that everything is on the right spot. Again, touch it. Push it down, center it, push it down through all the perimeter, through all the wheel, and center it again. So just make sure that you don't have kind of space, you know, between rubber and rims. So everything is attached, and we're ready to go. Here I need knitted gloves. Gosh. So, and with a very, very simple approach, So actually I very like to use the gloves because I didn't get my hands dirty in the glue, fully in the glue, and this is very, very good. So when I start gluing tires, I always keep in mind, I always focus on the first, let's say, spot, and in this way, this spot is the 2 yellow dots, which is means of compound of the tire. Just to not forget where I started, and after gluing whole round, I will keep in mind that I need to stop on the 2 yellow dots. And with kinda very easier approach, I create a hole, push it back, and when you drop the glue inside between the tires and rims, I always trying to to play with this to allow the glue go through the holes inside, and I always push it down because this is very important process and very important step of whole process, because tires are, with the help of the rubber bands, the tire is a bit compressed and it starts pop out from the rims, and that's why you need to this process to keep this thing on the spots. Yeah, did you see a bit? I'm using a bit more glue that should be, but it's okay, it's not a big problem. It's not a big problem. And if I have just more glue that I need, I'm using, oh my god, yeah, this one. I'm using just a paper towel to I'm using paper towel to remove the excessive glue. So now my tires are glued, my outside of the tire are glued, and also I like to distribute this excessive glue through the whole of the, to the edge. I wait just 1 minute until the glue starts working, and then I will go to the next step. You can also play, to help the glue inside start working by your hands, but usually I leave it as is, as now I'm showing you only with one tire, but usually I glue 4 tires in a row. And yeah, I need that. So I see that actually glue start working. I'm removing excessive oil here, and I'm ready for the next step. And the next step is not very usual as for the next process, because for the regular process from the previous video, I'm going to the inside of the tire, to the other side of the tire, and start gluing this side. But now, wait a minute, there are some places where glue still didn't work, so let's wait a bit more. Usually you don't need to wait so much time, because you glue one tire, move it back, continue with another tire, and when you glue second, third, fourth tire, you go back to the first tire, and yeah, you can continue. But in such case, I need to wait just a little bit when the glue began working. And yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. So the next step is not very usual. I start to disassemble tires from the other side. And this is also a very important step. And now I want to illustrate you why this is so important compared to the normal process. As you can see, as I was using a bit more glue than usually, there are some inserts glued to the rims, but it's not okay. Well, it's not a problem. So the next step, again, why we started to glue tires from the outside? Because your tire working, it's turned, and your outside of the tire is the most, this side of the tire, outside of the tire is most stressed area, and you need to glue this edge is very very good and very correct, because usually from this side the tire start ungluing. And how to achieve kind of this situation? First of all, I glue everything is inside, and also I need to glue this edge. I mean this edge, because did you see there are still some place? I hope you're seeing what I'm showing to you. I will take the scissors. There are still the place between this plastic edge, the plastic wall, let's say, and the tire, that without actually a glue. And just to be secure and more sure in the glue between tire and the rims, you need to increase the area of gluing. So how to do that? You need to add a bit more glue in this edge. Actually, did you see that? There are still some areas that actually didn't glue it. So it's not a big deal, but to be more secure, you have to glue this with the rims. And my next step, I guess this is the 5th step, I'm taking again the glue, and I'm starting gluing this area again by dropping small amount of the drops. Yep, here we go. Here we go. Here you don't need a lot of, you don't need just significant amount of the glue, because in this case the glue start distributing by itself very fast, because this edge is very suitable for that cases. Yeah. And here we go. So I go through the whole tire. And we're waiting again. All right, after 5 minutes on average, when the tire is actually glued this edge, I'm ready to continue. So I need to move the insert back. I installed it, and I'm continuing the whole process. Now it's time to glue the inside of the tire. So I'm doing the same process here. So I'm trying to push, to stretch tire a bit to the inside to make this area visible and useful for me. So yeah, for this case, the outside of the tire is completely glued from outside, from inside. So I'm sure in that, and I'm sure that it will hold the rim with the tires, on the position. But now I'm continue and starting to remove with the paper towels and brake cleaner. I'm starting to degrease and de-oil the inside of the edge of the tires. So I'm repeating the process. Yeah, and we'll wait until it will be dry. Checking with the fingers. And push it back on the place. The rest of the process will be the same, but the fact that you will not remove the tire back, so this is only the difference. Attach the rubber bands. Push it down every time. And start gluing. So as I don't have the two yellow dots as on this side, I'm keep in mind that I started from the word pro circuit, and the same process. Just I'm dropping the glue and attach it and push it down. So drop the glue, push it down, push the tire down. Attach the glue, push the tire down. Yep. Then when you start gluing in this way, by just manually, you will get more and more experience, and you will able to do that very much faster. But at the beginning, probably you will use a bit more glue than it should be, but again, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Yep. Oh my god, my gloves. My gloves are actually here. So that's why I'm using the gloves. So I'm checking that everything is on the right spots. And we're ready to go. Oh my eyes, oh my god. The time when the glue, the mixture of the glue and air comes into your eyes is very, oh my god, not very good. So I'm seeing the tire start working, and here we go. Here we have one tire completely finished for the 1/8 scale Nitro finals, and I'm sure that this tires is very good prepared and will not self-unglue it during the 45 minutes of the race. So this is how am I doing for the Nitro finals. Hope it was useful for you. Subscribe for the more videos and take care. Bye.